Okay, so on this problem, it says a father and his three children decide to hold a vote to select an after-dinner activity. They will either see a play or a movie. If the majority of the family agrees on a preferred activity, then they will do that activity. If two family members vote to see a play and the other two vote to watch a movie, then the father's vote will be used to break the tie. Okay, so let's go through it. So step one. List all winning coalitions. Okay. So let's list all the winning coalitions. What are all the winning teams? So first we're going to have teams of two. So what are the teams of two that can win? Well, I'm going to call the people father and then children A, B, and C, right? Because it's three children, right? Father and his three children. So father and then child A, B, and C. So how many groups of two can win? Well, let's go through all the groups of two. So remember how to do this. You start with the first one and you go right down the line. FA, FB, FC. So FA, FB, FC. And then the father's done. And then we're going to start with A and go AB. But hold on. That's all we need. Those are to win. Remember, if it's a 2-2 tie, if two family members vote to see the play, the other two to watch a movie, the father's vote will be used to break the tie. So if you have only two people, like if only the father and child A want to do whatever, and then that's enough to win, right? Because the father's vote will break the tie. If father and person A want to do whatever, that means the other two people, B and C, don't want to do the different thing. Who's going to win the vote? Well, if it's a 2-2 tie, the team with the father breaks the tie and wins. So father with A, father with B, and father with C, those are going to be the only winning coalitions for two players, right? The other ones, you got to have father. If you only have two people, you got to have father to win. Okay, now let's go on to teams of three. So teams of three. Well, again, let's to do teams of three, remember you drop one at a time out. So let's drop out C and do father AB. So I'll go father AB. And then let's drop out the B and do father AC. So remember, to form a group of three, you just drop one out at a time. So father AC. And then drop out. So we dropped out C, we dropped out B, now drop out A. So father BC. Okay, and so now drop out father. See how we're going down the line? Dropped out C, dropped out B, dropped out A, now drop out father, get A, B, C. Whoops, did I forget the last one? FBC. And now, oh man, getting kind of messed up here. I don't know what happened. So let's try that again. So I dropped out C, and I got father AB. I dropped out B, and I got father AC. I dropped out A, and I got father BC. Now I'm going to drop out father, and I got ABC. I'm going to go right here. ABC. A, B, C. Come on, pen. ABC. Okay, so those are all the teams of three. And by the way, all those teams of three are winning teams because if a majority agrees, they will do that activity. So these are all three people. That's a majority. That's more than half because it's only four people total, right? Father and three children. Father and ABC. So three is a majority. They win. Okay, last one. How about groups of four? Well, that's just going to be everybody. If everybody agrees on the same thing, father ABC, they're going to do it. So there's all the winning coalitions. Again, to have two people win, you've got to have father. Because in a 2-2 tie, the team with father wins. That's what they said. If it's a tie, two families with us, then father's vote will be used in to break the tie. For three, Any three will work. Those are all the teams of three, right? How do we know? We left one at a time out. We left out C, left out B, left out A, and left out father. They're all winners. Even the ABC is a winner because that's, even though father's not on that team, that's still a majority. That's still more than half. That's three people. They said if a majority, they will do the activity. And then all four, of course, is always a winner. So how many winnings? First question, how many winning coalitions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 winning coalitions. There we go. Step two. Step two is we're going to circle, underline, what are we going to do? Critical, the critical players on each team. Okay, so let's do it. Let's go back and circle who's critical. So on the teams of two, you circle all of them for the teams of two. For the teams of two, they're always both critical. Let's make sure. What does critical mean? Let's be super clear on that. Critical means you drop out. If you drop out, the team loses. That's what it means to be critical, right? If a super important member of a team drops out and the team loses, that means that player was critical. They had to have him or her. If the person drops out, the team loses, that means that was a critical player. So, okay, so who's critical? Well, here, look. So you drop them out. So you see, if F doesn't show up, does this FA team lose? Well, of course, they've only got one person left. A, they're not going to win the vote with only one person. Or even if A drops out and you got the father alone, he's not going to win by himself, right? Same thing here. If father drops out, they've only got B, it's a losing team. If B drops out, they've only got father, it's a losing team. If father drops out, they've only got C, it's a losing team. If C drops out, only got father, it's a losing team. So that's why we always circle everybody in the teams of two, because they got to have them both. They're both critical. Now let's go to the teams of three. Let's do them one at a time. If father drops out of this team, and they're only left with AB. They're only left with AB. Is that a losing team? That's what critical means. If you drop out, the team loses, right? Like a critical quarterback on a football team. If the quarterback is sick, can't play the game, gets injured, can't play the game, the team loses. That means that person was critical. They had to have him. So what do you think? If father drops out of this team and they only have AB, will they lose? Yes, they will lose. Because a team of two, they'll only be left with two. A team of two only wins if they have father. That's what it said. Father's vote breaks the tie if it's 2 and 2. So yeah, if father drops out and they only have AB, they're going to become a losing team. So father is critical to this team. They got to have him. Now, how about A? If A drops out, what are they left with? Father and B. Are they going to lose? No, father and B is enough to win because you still have two and you got father. Right? If you have two and you have father, you win because father breaks the tie. So that means that A is not critical. A could drop out and they're still going to win. They don't have to have A. A is not critical. Same thing for B. If B drops out, is FA going to lose? No, they're going to win. They're still going to win because they got two and they got father, which is enough to break the tie and win. So B is not critical. So A and B are not critical. They could lose either one of them. They could lose A alone or they could lose B alone, and it's still going to be a winning team. So therefore, A and B are not critical. Remember, critical means if you drop out, all of a sudden the team loses. How about the next one? What if father drops out of this next team? Is AC going to be a losing team? Yeah, they've only got two and they don't have father. So father's critical on this team also. How about if A drops out? Are they going to be a losing team? No, they've still got two. They got father and C, and two with father is enough to break the tie and win. So A is not critical on this team, and neither is C. Same thing. If C drops out, they still got father and A. They still got two, and they got father, so they're still a winner. So A and C are not critical on this team. They can, either one of them can drop out and the team is still going to win. They don't have to have both A and C. Let's go to the next one. How about down here? Father drops out. Same deal, huh? Father drops out. They've only got 2 and they don't have father, so they lose. So father's critical. They got to have father on this team. What if B drops out? Same thing. They've got 2 left, and that's enough to win when you have father, right? They got 2 left, including father. They still win. So B's not critical. Same thing for C. If C drops out, they got father and B. They got 2 with father. That's still a winner. C is not critical either. All right, let's go to the bottom group. What if A drops out? If A drops out, they've only got, whoops, it's kind of screwed. If A drops out and they've only got BC, they lose, right? Because if you only have 2 and you don't have father, you lose. You lose. So A is critical on this team. Now, how about if they drop out B? If B drops out, then they've only got AC, which is only 2, and they don't have father. So that becomes a losing team. If B drops out, they lose. B is critical. They've got to have B, because if B drops out, they've only got AC, which is only 2. And if you only have 2 and you don't have father, you lose. So B is also critical on this team. How about C? If C drops out, they've only got AB. They've only got 2 and they don't have father again. They become a loser. So C is critical. So on this team down here, A, B, and C are all critical because they don't have father. So they have to have all 3. If any one of them drops out, they become a losing team. Therefore, these are all critical. They have to have them. Finally, let's go over here. If father drops out, what do they got left? Well, they still got 3 left. They're still a winner. They still have a majority. So father's not critical. Father can drop out of this team of 4 and they still have 3. They still have a majority, which works. So father's not critical. How about if A? If A drops out, they still got 3. They still got father, B, and C. They still have a majority. So A is not critical, etc. Nobody's critical. If any one of these people drops out, they still have 3. They still have a majority. So nobody's critical on that team. All right. So we did all that. We're almost there. Step 3. Count the circles, and that becomes the denominator, right? So let's count the circles. Here we go. I'm going to just number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, kind of scribbling it there. It's all right. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 circles. 12 circles. So for the father, it's going to be 12. And for A, it's going to be a 12 denominator. And B, oh boy, my pen is really having a problems here. B is a 12, and C is a 12. 12 is the denominator. Okay, then just count the tops. How many are father? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fathers. 6 of the circles are fathers. How many are A? 1, 2. How many are B? 1, 2. And how many are C? 1, 2. Double check. Does that add up? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's all of them. So there we go. If you divide that on your calculator, you'll get 0.5. This one, I'm not sure what you'll get. Just you can divide it in your calculator. So this one is you can just put in 6/12 or 1/2 or 0.5. Here you can put in 2 because it's asking for the father. This one's asking for one of the children. Just one of the children is 2/12. Or you could reduce the fraction, 1/6. Right, you see what I'm doing? I'm reducing the fraction there. You don't have to do that, but I'm just saying you could, if you wanted to, divide top and bottom by 6, and that makes it 1/2, and this one divide top and bottom by 2. That makes it 1/6. You don't have to do that, or just divide it on your calculator. Here, let me tell you what 1/6 is on the calculator. I'm going to divide 2/12 or 1/6 on my calculator. I get 0.1666666 forever. But they say 4 decimal places. So if you want to do that, you have to round. So stop right there. There's 4 decimal places. This 6 tells you to go up. 0.1667. There's the answer rounded to 4 decimal places. And so there we go.